So, when I started thinking about who has had some of the greatest impact...
Oprah Winfrey, the undisputed queen of media, a symbol of success, generosity, and unshakable influence. But what if the flawless image we've come to admire is just a carefully crafted facade? Behind the glitz and the inspiration lies a world of FBI investigations, shocking accusations, and enigmatic connections that could expose a far darker reality. Do we truly know the woman behind the empire? Or is there more to Oprah than meets the eye? Oprah Winfrey, one of the world's most beloved and influential public figures. A beacon of generosity, intellect, and unstoppable success, she has built an empire spanning television, publishing, real estate, and philanthropy. But what if that polished image is just a carefully curated illusion? Beneath the surface, disturbing allegations are emerging claims so shocking they could shatter the very foundation of Oprah's empire. Reports suggest that the FBI has been quietly investigating her for years, unearthing secrets about her financial dealings and connections to some of the world's most powerful and scandal-ridden figures. Rumors swirl about the true extent of her wealth and influence, with some speculating that Oprah's status has shielded her from scrutiny, allowing her to move in the shadows beyond the reach of public accountability. The most explosive allegations? Whispers of ties to the global elite figures accused of human trafficking, financial manipulation, and other illicit activities. As the speculation grows, one chilling question remains: is there more to Oprah Winfrey than the world has been led to believe? Leaked documents and insider testimonies ignite explosive questions. Oprah Winfrey's sprawling estates, lavish symbols of her staggering wealth, may not just be luxury retreats. According to leaked documents and insider reports, some theorists suggest these remote properties serve a dual purpose, functioning as the backdrop for clandestine operations the public has never been made aware of. The FBI is now reportedly scrutinizing Oprah's real estate dealings, investigating whether they are linked to a larger, more ominous conspiracy. Her name has surfaced in connection with some of the most controversial and disgraced figures of our time: Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and Russell Simmons, men whose crimes have rocked Hollywood and beyond. Were Oprah's ties to them purely professional, or is there a deeper story lurking beneath the surface? If federal investigators have indeed tracked her connections, it raises the possibility that Oprah was more than just an acquaintance to these powerful and scandal-ridden figures. While no concrete evidence has directly implicated her in illegal activities, the secrecy surrounding her business empire, the rapid accumulation of her immense fortune, and her relationships with some of the most notorious players in the industry have fueled intense speculation. Is this all just another wild conspiracy theory, or are there secrets waiting to be uncovered? One thing is certain: where there's smoke, there's fire. The truth about Oprah Winfrey may be far more complicated than we ever imagined. Oprah Winfrey, a real estate empire with a hidden agenda. Oprah Winfrey may be far more enigmatic and powerful than the world has been led to believe. Over the years, she has quietly amassed a jaw-dropping real estate empire, securing luxury resorts, sprawling ranches, and secluded estates that make her one of the largest private landowners in the United States. While the public sees these properties as investments or personal retreats, critics argue that a deeper, more calculated strategy is at play, one that extends far beyond homeownership. From a $100 million estate in Montecito, California, to massive landholdings in Washington, Colorado, and Tennessee, Oprah's portfolio isn't just remarkable in size, it's notable for the secrecy surrounding her acquisitions. She frequently purchases land through off-market transactions, sidestepping public scrutiny, and often employs anonymous LCs to mask ownership. While this tactic is legal, it raises unsettling questions. Why would a woman who built her empire on trust and transparency go to such lengths to conceal her holdings? Adding to the intrigue, many of Oprah's estates are strategically located near some of the world's most powerful figures in politics, business, and entertainment. Some theorists suggest that these properties aren't just lavish getaways, but serve as discreet venues for private meetings and undisclosed dealings. Investigative journalists who have attempted to probe her real estate dealings have reportedly faced fierce legal resistance, further fueling speculation about what might be hidden behind the veil of luxury. Beyond the mystery of her acquisitions, Oprah's influence on local communities has sparked debate. In areas like Telluride, Colorado, and Orcas Island, Washington, where she owns significant land, residents have witnessed skyrocketing property values and rapid urbanization. Critics argue that her land grabs contribute to gentrification, pushing out longtime locals and reshaping communities in ways that favor the ultra-wealthy. Despite Oprah's repeated insistence that her real estate empire is purely a personal investment with no ulterior motives, the far-reaching impact of her holdings and the secrecy surrounding them cannot be ignored. Is this just the financial maneuvering of a billionaire, or is there a larger hidden agenda lurking beneath the surface? The world may not know the full truth, but the questions keep piling up. Oprah's untouchable empire, land, power, and the Maui fire controversy. For decades, Oprah Winfrey has built an unshakable public image, one of generosity, wisdom, and goodwill. Unlike other billionaires who have faced public outrage over their real estate acquisitions, Oprah has managed to avoid scrutiny. But as details of her staggering land empire continue to surface, so do the unsettling questions. One of the most controversial revelations? Oprah has quietly acquired more than 2,000 acres of land in Hawaii, making her one of the largest private landowners in the state. Critics argue that her unchecked expansion has driven up real estate prices, contributed to the displacement of Native Hawaiians, and restricted public access to lands that once belonged to local communities. The controversy reached a boiling point after the catastrophic Maui wildfires, which left thousands homeless. While Oprah publicly pledged to help victims, her response was met with backlash. Teaming up with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, she announced the Maui People's Fund, a financial aid initiative. But instead of fully funding it themselves, the two megastars asked the public to donate, sparking outrage. Many questioned why two of the world's wealthiest celebrities wouldn't foot the bill themselves. Adding fuel to the fire, reports surfaced that while Native Hawaiian communities were devastated, Oprah's vast estates remained untouched. While there's no concrete evidence of foul play, the stark contrast between her preserved properties and the surrounding destruction has spawned conspiracy theories. Some skeptics suggest that wealthy elites may have profited from the disaster, with whispers of land grabs and redevelopment schemes already underway. Suspicion grew even further when it was revealed that some of the burned areas had been previously zoned for redevelopment, raising the question, was the disaster being exploited as a tool for land acquisition? Whether Oprah's real estate empire is merely the work of a savvy investor or something far more calculated remains a hotly debated mystery. But one thing is clear, the once unshakable aura of America's media queen is now under intense scrutiny like never before. Oprah's private road, power, privilege, and the displacement of Native Hawaiians. One of the most contentious symbols of Oprah Winfrey's dominance in Maui isn't just her sprawling estates, it's the private road she built to access her luxury property. What was once an open, easily accessible route for local residents has now been heavily restricted, sparking frustration and anger within the community. While Oprah has occasionally granted emergency responders access, many argue that such a crucial roadway should never have been privatized in the first place. This raises a bigger, more unsettling question: how much power should one person have over public land? The fact that a billionaire can control key infrastructure in Hawaii has amplified fears that wealthy outsiders are slowly erasing Native communities. For many Native Hawaiians, Oprah's real estate empire is part of a larger trend: the systematic displacement of local families by ultra-rich outsiders. Skyrocketing property values, limited land availability, and a soaring cost of living have forced many native residents to leave the islands, selling off land that has been in their families for generations. Meanwhile, billionaires like Oprah expand their luxury portfolios, often snapping up land from desperate sellers who can no longer afford to stay. Despite her public image as a philanthropist and advocate for equality, critics argue that Oprah's actions tell a different story. Is she truly a champion of the people, or just another billionaire shaping the world to fit her own interests? The battle for Hawaii's future is being fought not just in the courts, but in the hearts of the people who are watching their homeland slip away one luxury estate at a time. Scandals, secrets, and suspicion, the dark side of Oprah's Leadership Academy. Oprah Winfrey has long positioned herself as a champion of the underprivileged, using her immense wealth and influence to promote education and empowerment. But critics argue that her actions directly contribute to the very inequality she claims to be fighting, and nowhere is this contradiction more apparent than in the growing controversies surrounding her empire. One of the most disturbing and overlooked scandals tied to Oprah's name is the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, OLAG, in South Africa. Founded in 2007 with the mission of providing high-quality education to underprivileged girls, the Academy was one of Oprah's most personal philanthropic endeavors. She personally selected students, carefully curating an institution meant to inspire and uplift. But beneath the surface, a series of shocking scandals would tarnish the school's reputation and raise questions about what was really happening behind closed doors. The first major controversy erupted shortly after the Academy's opening, when a dormitory manager was accused of physically and mentally abusing students. The allegations painted a horrifying picture: harsh discipline, intimidation, and inappropriate behavior toward young girls. A devastated Oprah immediately flew to South Africa to address the crisis, publicly apologizing to the victims and their families. But in a surprising twist, the accused staff member was later acquitted, leaving many to question whether the case was mishandled or even if a cover-up had taken place. Then came the second wave of allegations, this time against the students themselves. Reports surfaced that several girls had engaged in inappropriate behavior toward their classmates, leading to multiple suspensions and expulsions. For a school built on discipline and empowerment, these incidents raised a troubling question: how could such serious misconduct occur in a tightly controlled environment? But nothing compared to the most shocking and gruesome revelation: the discovery of a dead baby hidden inside a student's backpack. The news sent shockwaves through the public. How had a pregnancy gone unnoticed in a school with strict supervision? Reports suggested that the young girl had concealed her pregnancy for months, given birth alone, and attempted to discard the newborn. The tragic incident cast a harrowing light on the mental health struggles and pressures faced by students, sparking even more scrutiny about what was really happening within OLAGA's walls. As whispers of controversy spread, unofficial reports began circulating online about students disappearing under mysterious circumstances. While no official records confirm unusual disappearances, internet forums have fueled chilling theories, with some even drawing comparisons between OLAG and global human trafficking networks. The idea seems outlandish, but with so many disturbing incidents tied to the school, public suspicion continues to grow. Is OLAG simply a troubled institution, or is there something far more sinister lurking beneath its prestigious facade? While no hard evidence links Oprah or her school to anything illegal, the sheer number of disturbing incidents, unanswered questions, and inexplicable tragedies has led many to wonder, is there more to this story than meets the eye? The Oprah enigma, media control, elite ties, and unanswered questions. Few public figures command the level of untouchable influence that Oprah Winfrey does. While many see her as a self-made billionaire and humanitarian, Others believe she operates within an elite circle of power that shields her from scrutiny. The deeper one digs, the more unsettling the questions become. One of the most mysterious aspects of Oprah's empire is the strict media control over her South African school, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, OLAG. Unlike other prestigious institutions that welcome press coverage, OLAG operates under a shroud of secrecy. Reports suggest that both students and staff are required to sign ironclad non-disclosure agreements, legally barring them from discussing what goes on inside the academy. This has raised serious concerns. Is Oprah fostering transparency? Or is she using her vast resources to cover up troubling incidents? But the controversies surrounding OLAG are just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. Beyond her business empire, Oprah's deep ties to the world's most powerful individuals have fueled speculation about just how much influence she truly wields. She has long associated with the billionaire elite, frequently attending highly exclusive events like Bilderberg, a secretive annual gathering of the world's most powerful figures. While no official records document her role in these meetings, her presence alone has sparked intense speculation about the extent of her involvement in global decision-making. Even more troubling are Oprah's connections to individuals accused of serious crimes. While she presents herself as a champion of justice, some critics argue that her loyalty is based on strategy rather than principle. Over the years, she has been linked to Hollywood executives and influential figures later exposed for abuse, leading some to wonder, what did she know, and when did she know it? Insiders claim that Oprah has masterfully shaped public opinion, strategically using her platform to elevate or discredit certain individuals depending on what serves her best. Her political affiliations have also drawn intense scrutiny. While she has publicly supported various politicians, many believe her endorsements are calculated moves, not simply personal beliefs, but part of a long-term strategy to maintain power. Her close relationships with former presidents, royals, and global financial leaders have only added to suspicions that she is carefully managing her influence at the highest levels. Perhaps the most controversial aspect of Oprah's public persona is the level of protection she seems to receive from both the media and law enforcement. Despite being connected to multiple high-profile individuals who have fallen from grace, she has somehow remained untouched. While those around her have been investigated, exposed, and even prosecuted, Oprah remains immune to scandal, at least publicly. Is it all just coincidence, or is there a larger force at play? The more one examines Oprah's vast network of influence, the harder it becomes to believe that everything is as it seems. Oprah, Epstein, and the silence that speaks volumes. For decades, Oprah Winfrey has been one of the most scrutinized yet seemingly untouchable figures in the media. While scandals have taken down countless celebrities, politicians, and business moguls, Oprah has remained immune even when her name surfaces in connection to some of the world's most controversial figures. And perhaps none is more explosive than her alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The notorious Epstein scandal exposed a sprawling network of elite individuals entangled in human trafficking and abuse. While there are no official records confirming Oprah's presence at Epstein's infamous gatherings, persistent allegations suggest otherwise. Some researchers claim that travel logs and guest lists from elite events include her name alongside known Epstein associates. Additionally, photographs have surfaced showing Oprah in the company of figures who were later exposed as key players in Epstein's network. Of course, attending social events with controversial individuals does not prove direct involvement. But with so many high-profile names connected to Epstein's dark empire, the question remains, how much did Oprah really know? The mystery deepens when it comes to Epstein's infamous private island, Little St. James, which became the center of federal investigations into elite gatherings and human trafficking operations. While no hard evidence links Oprah to the island, Online theorists and investigative journalists have pointed to indirect ties through mutual acquaintances, overlapping social circles, and shared business connections. The lack of transparency surrounding Epstein's guest lists, flight records, and financial dealings has only fueled suspicions, and Oprah's name continues to surface in speculation. But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Oprah's alleged Epstein connection isn't just speculation, it's her deafening silence. Unlike many other public figures who have either publicly condemned Epstein or scrambled to distance themselves, Oprah has remained largely quiet on the subject. In an industry where narratives are carefully controlled, her decision to avoid commenting on one of the most explosive scandals of the century has only raised more questions. Is it because she was uninvolved, or is her silence protecting something far bigger? Adding to the intrigue, Oprah's professional network overlaps with many individuals directly connected to Epstein, including business moguls, Hollywood executives, and politicians who were later exposed for financial, real estate, or social ties to Epstein. While these potential connections remain speculative, they are not the only ones. Beyond the Epstein saga, Oprah has also maintained close relationships with some of Hollywood's most notorious figures, people whose crimes only came to light after years of cover-ups. With her unparalleled media influence, some wonder, has Oprah been complicit in shaping the narrative to protect certain elites? Coincidence or calculated silence? The deeper one digs, the more unsettling the questions become, and the fewer answers emerge. Oprah's dark ties. For years, Oprah Winfrey has been seen as a beacon of empowerment, but behind the scenes, her associations with some of Hollywood's most disgraced figures tell a more unsettling story. Two names stand out: Harvey Weinstein and Russell Simmons. Weinstein, once the untouchable kingpin of Hollywood, fell from grace in 2017 when a flood of allegations exposed him as a predator. But long before the world turned on him, Oprah had been a known admirer. Photos of the two, arm in arm at exclusive events, paint a picture of more than just casual acquaintance. Even more disturbing, some of Weinstein's victims have accused Oprah of playing a role, whether knowingly or not, in introducing young women to him. Though no hard proof has surfaced, her delayed condemnation only speaking out once Weinstein was beyond saving has fueled suspicion. Actress Rose McGowan didn't hold back, calling Oprah fake and accusing her of siding with abusers under the guise of female empowerment. Musician Seal went even further, posting a damning photo of Oprah and Weinstein with the caption, "You've been part of the problem for decades." Then there's Russell Simmons, the hip-hop mogul accused by over a dozen women of sexual assault. For years, Oprah maintained a close relationship with him, appearing side by side at countless events. But when she announced a documentary exposing Simmons' accusers in 2019, something strange happened. She abruptly pulled out. The official reason? Production concerns. The speculation? Powerful forces pressured her into silence to protect Simmons. As Oprah distances herself from both men, her critics are left with burning questions. Why did she stay silent when they reigned supreme? Why did she continue to publicly support them, only to turn her back once their downfall was inevitable? Was this about justice or self-preservation? Oprah's untouchable empire. Oprah Winfrey isn't just a media mogul, she's an empire unto herself, commanding influence, wealth, and an untouchable reputation. But as more whistleblowers expose Hollywood's dark secrets, her own role in these scandals remains a glaring mystery. Were her alliances with disgraced figures just coincidences? Or do they hint at a larger hidden network of power and protection? And if her controversial relationships are only the tip of the iceberg, what else is being concealed? Behind the image of a self-made billionaire and humanitarian, Oprah's financial dealings have long raised eyebrows. Investigative reports have uncovered her use of complex financial structures, offshore holdings, tax loopholes, and opaque investment funds that shield her true wealth from public scrutiny. Though technically legal, these maneuvers stand in stark contrast to her public advocacy for economic justice. Even her philanthropy has been questioned. While she's donated millions, critics argue that much of it is self-serving, carefully curated for image control rather than genuine impact. The most blatant example, her joint relief fund with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for Maui wildfire victims. Despite their combined net worth of billions, they asked the public ordinary struggling citizens to foot the bill. The backlash was swift, with many questioning why two of the wealthiest people on the planet refused to lead by example. Even more troubling, reports suggest that large portions of money raised for her foundations don't go directly to those in need, but are swallowed by administrative costs, consulting fees, and murky expenses. Was this about charity or just another tax shield? Beyond money, Oprah wields an even greater weapon: control over the media. Unlike other celebrities who frequently face public scrutiny, she has built an ironclad relationship with major networks like CBS, ABC, and her own Oprah Winfrey Network, OW, and ensuring that her image remains untarnished. Rarely does she face tough questions or negative press. The result? A carefully constructed persona that remains largely unquestioned despite mounting controversies. But as more cracks begin to show, one has to wonder how much of Oprah's legacy is real and how much is just a brilliantly executed illusion. Oprah's shadow empire. Something strange happens to those who fall out of Oprah Winfrey's inner circle. They disappear. Not literally, but their careers evaporate, their influence fades, and in some cases, their lives take inexplicable turns. Whispers of blacklisting have long surrounded her, but darker rumors suggest something far more chilling. Some conspiracy theories claim that individuals who have attempted to expose Oprah or the powerful elites within her orbit have faced mysterious fates. Unexplained disappearances, sudden deaths, and bizarre legal troubles have all been linked to figures who dared to challenge the media queen. Coincidence? Maybe. But when a familiar pattern of silencing dissent emerges, suspicion is bound to grow. What makes this even more disturbing is how little these conversations are happening. In an age where media transparency is supposedly valued, Oprah's influence remains one of the most carefully protected subjects in the industry. Investigative journalists steer clear, major networks remain silent, and even social media algorithms seem to work in her favor. But the real question is, what would happen if this veil of secrecy were finally lifted? With reports that the FBI may be taking a closer look into media power structures, could we finally see the truth behind Oprah's empire? Is she simply a master of image control? Or is there something much bigger, something far more sinister protecting her from scrutiny? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to stay updated on this developing story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The truth may be closer than we think.